Times may be dark, but we are Earth's greatest hope. Look around you. A gathering of noble guardians new and old.
Okay, listen up. You're a bunch of dirty misfits, but you're all that's left, so you'll have to do.
Our home was attacked. I was there and fought against the endless onslaught.
They kept coming, so I kept firing. Not gonna lie, I was magnificent.
Despite the sacrifice of many brave guardians, we lost everything. The tower, the city, our home.
So, everything is gone. Your stuff, my stuff, most importantly, my stuff.
Today we know our enemy. His name is
Gary! Or Gil. Glenn? Is it? I don't know. It's something with a G!
Gaul. I know you look to me in times of peril, but this is not my battle alone.
Which means if I don't see you out there, I'll kill you myself.
It is time to avenge this injustice, for that is the duty of all guardians.
Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't.
So I ask you, who will stand with me?
Yeah! Really, guys?
That was inspiring.
Also, there will be a ton of loot! Yeah, right? That's what I thought.
All right, gamers, geeks, and other delinquents from the outer realms. It's time for the Gamers in Beta podcast with Captain Mike M.
That is a travesty of the highest order I've ever fucking seen one.
Featuring assorted co-hosts J Maniac 17.
What the fuck was that all about?
Corey Atwood.
It's not my fault you guys all have shitty taste.
Sean Quicksilver 3355.
Well, maybe you should look it up.
And Joe State.
That game sucks, dude.
It is good to be back talking with you guys. We had a brief moment of reflection about the future of Gamers in Beta, and so we needed a week to sort of collect our thoughts and figure out how to go to, I guess, phase 2 of the podcast. So we are happy to be back. Another thing that went on last week, guys, that I'm not sure if you're aware of, I did talk about this on the 40 cast, but that just came out 2 hours ago, so maybe you haven't heard it yet, but last Friday, I had some free time before work. Sure, let me fire up some Horizon Zero Dawn and make some more progress. My PS4 would turn on, but I wasn't getting any visuals on the screen. So frantically plugging and unplugging HDMI cables, nothing was happening. So I said, all right, let me just take the PS4 Pro out of my office and just hook it up to the games case to sort of just, me, the PS4 Pro, and one TV, no other variables in the room. And the PS4 Pro booted up, and it came to a screen that said I needed to reinitialize. I needed to put update 4.50 back on the system. And I was like, fine, I know how to do that. I got a thumb drive. Assumed everything would be okay, right? Just needed a fresh, clean install, and I'd be good to go. Well,
is it going to reformat everything?
Right.
That's my question.
Yes, I mean I'd have to put the games all back, but I have decent internet. That's not a problem for me.
Okay.
So I wasn't worried at this stage. So I did all that, and of course Horizon was the first game. I mean this took maybe 10-15 minutes to get the new update back on the system, to get Horizon installed, and I had a controller in my hand. So we're talking 10-15 minutes of downtime. Well, with the PS4, because things go up to the cloud, you have to re-download them, right? They're just not automatic like on the Xbox. I went to my cloud, and it seems to be nothing from January 1st on is in the cloud.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So I have lost everything from, games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Sniper Elite, For Honor, Call of Duty, Titanfall. I've lost it all.
All save data.
All save data gone. So what I'm thinking of is when I got into the beta, maybe I unchecked, which I don't think I did, but maybe something got unchecked for like automatically uploading to the cloud. Because I know when I reinstalled it, that was unchecked again. So this is a PSA to make sure if you're a PS4 user that you enable auto uploads.
And this is not your home PS4, correct? Your main
This is my
console?
This is my main system.
Oh, it is your main system. Oh, wow.
Not everybody has 9 consoles.
Right. But yeah, otherwise it's a manual process, Jay. So when it's your main system, it's supposed to automatically upload them if you have that checkbox checked off. Otherwise, on the systems that aren't your main system, it's a manual process. You only can have one PS4 that automatically uploads to the cloud.
So how long did you mope about this and just say well, fuck video games?
Well, we had the discussion of what to do with the future of us here on Thursday, and there was really no conclusion or anything like that. We didn't really, sew anything up until many days later. And then that happened on Friday, and I was just like, fuck it. You know what? This is a sign that I just need to take a break and move on. But, been gaming for a long time now, and it's in your blood. So I have been doing some gaming, just not much on the PS4. We'll get into that in a little bit, but yes, certainly the wind was taken out, underneath me there a little bit.
More like PS4 Pro, more like PS4 No. Am I right?
Am I right?
But it is, as much as I don't know what happened, why I wasn't going to the cloud and why did my system need to be reconfigured. I mean, on an Xbox, you'd never have to reconfigure, because that's not the way they work. You have to do a hard reset. So how many times you figure you have to do a hard reset on Xbox One? Like I said, the PS4, it's different. And it's, partially my own fault. I never checked that anything was being uploaded to the cloud. What happens when you assume.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to do it automatically. That's how they bill it. They're like, oh, it's going to automatically be uploaded to the
But I
cloud
don't know
every
if
once
it
in a
was
while.
unchecked.
So. That sucks.
Right,
man.
It's a checkbox. It doesn't automatically upload to the cloud if it's unchecked.
Right. It's
If
not
it's
like
unchecked,
Xbox. Yeah, with the Xbox, and if you have an Xbox console and you're playing and connected online, even if you go and play on a friend's, your save automatically gets uploaded to the cloud unless there's a disconnect from the internet. With PlayStation, you can.
One major problem with the Xbox, though. No Horizon Zero Dawn.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm just so that's the difference, and why I was kind of curious and asking about this is because I'm not used to that, and when I pick up a second PS4 because I do want to get a Pro for upstairs, I'm like, I want to make sure this doesn't happen to me. I thought it was on a secondary console. I didn't realize it was on the main, but I do check my your notifications. It will tell you once a week I go in there and kind of look to see. It'll give you that thing that says uploaded to PlayStation Network or whatever, and You'll see that your saves have uploaded. So now I know that's very important to check.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I don't get notifications about being uploaded to the cloud. It just does it automatically.
Well, they do. They've changed their notifications with this new system now, which I don't think. I can see what they were trying to do. They didn't want to bog you down with notifications, so now stuff is hidden. So now you go into notifications and you click the options button, which everybody knows is the start button, and then you can look at notifications, downloads, and uploads. I believe is how it's broken down.
Oh, okay.
And you look for them in there.
Right. So I go in there occasionally, see, because I had was at Little Big Planet had an update that had an error for some reason, and then the other day, my latest Horizon Zero Dawn save had an issue for some reason. It wasn't uploading. So I went back in and clicked on that, and you click on it, and it just says retry, and I retried twice, and the second time it did it.
How many hours do you think you had sunk into Horizon Zero Dawn?
I was level 27 or 28. So if I had to guess, I'd say a little north of 20 hours.
Ugh, that's. I mean, that's not like horrific, but I mean, kicks you in the dick.
I'm not one of those guys that like watches movies over and over again. You know, I see a movie once and I'm good. I don't need to see it again. I'm not saying I have a memory that remembers the lines, but I remember, what happened in the movie, and I don't need to see it again. And so the thought of going back and replaying again stuff I've already seen is very non-appealing to me. So
that sucks. Like, I mean, one of the games that's like lauded as one of the best games this year now is definitely leaving a bad taste in your mouth. That sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's where things are at. And so you guys have heard from Corey, you've heard from Jay, but also Sean is here. So say hello to everybody, Sean.
Hello. How is everybody doing?
Joe just got back from Disney, so he is busy getting reacclimated to life back at home and getting his kids ready for bed and looking at his eBay business and stuff like that. So he cannot join us tonight. But we got a good show for you. We got a bunch of news items to talk about right off the top. We got listener questions. We got a game show, more news, stuff we've been playing. So it's going to be action-packed, and we'll try to move through this stuff as best we can. Gentlemen, the biggest news of the week, in my opinion, was the announcement of Destiny 2. Destiny. We knew Destiny 2 was coming this year. There's been leaks and reports. And so it's here. First of all, has anybody pre-ordered it?
No, and I did not get the purse version.
So my wife went out food shopping today, and my supermarket is right next to a GameStop. And so she pre-ordered 2 limited editions, one for me and one for my son, because you can get the 6-inch, or I don't even think it's 6 inches. It looks to be, let me measure. Hold on, let me put this right here to compare. Oh yeah, that's about 3.5, 4 inches right there.
Exactly the length, huh?
Whatever that character's name is that Nathan Fillion was narrating.
Cade 6.
Cade 6.
Cade 6.
Yeah. That's where I got the 6 from. So yes, if you put $5 down, you get the little figure and you get the beta access. And if you want to cancel and order from somewhere else, then you get a discount down the line. You get your code and you get your figure already. So I'm not saying to do that.
Who else? Los did that too, right?
Yep.
I think Los, he put up a photo of that. I've made my feelings known about Destiny. I'm definitely not going to buy Destiny 2. But I'll admit that the trailer and the what was it? The video that came up before the trailer.
The teaser,
I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, I mean both of those are fucking great. They make some great trailers.
So the first game, a lot of people said, what? No story, soulless, boring. Nothing you could really get attached to as far as, the characters in the game. And so this has sort of made a complete, 180, right? I mean, it seems like it's just all it is. It's almost it seems like too much a little bit, in my opinion, right? I don't know. I don't know how you guys felt about that, watching that trailer.
Well, a lot of things were said about the first Destiny before it came out. 10-year experience. So,
yeah.
Who's to say what you can take away from just the first trailer? I do like the sense of humor, though. The sense of humor is spot on. I love Nathan Fillion. I think they nailed it with Nathan Fillion's character. I think he speaks for the audience. I mean, if they had just had the bald bluish white guy speaking grandiosely about going and battling the enemy, it would have been a boring trailer. So I like that character they inserted into it.
Yes. They brought him in probably, I don't know, about halfway through and started really, I mean, they had him in there, but just kind of voicing some lines, and then they started bringing him in this comedic manner. So in that way, he's come across that way now and become very important to it. And I kind of like the fact that they used him to help announce Destiny 2 with the bald blue guy you were talking about kind of in the background, like, hey, wait a minute, I'm talking here. I'll take care of this.
Is that Commander Zavala? The bald blue guy?
Yeah, I believe that's his name.
He opens up saying our home was attacked despite the sacrifice of many brave guardians, that guy.
Yeah, that blah, 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 everything you've ever heard in every video game.
Now, Sean, this is going to be coming out on PC, day and date with the consoles. Interested at all?
No.
No.
Not at all. No, I was never really into Destiny to begin with. So, I mean, I thought about it. I don't know. I might pick it up depending on what I'm playing at that time. But I just never could really get into the whole having to redo missions over and over and over and over. It's like a grind.
Yeah.
I got enough of a grind in all the open world games I'm playing now. I don't need another one to add to the thing. Plus, I don't know if I could play with anybody else. So literally our whole crew, unless they have PC, who am I going to play with? I'm going to play with randoms all the time. So,
yep. So the studio is going to be premiering some gameplay footage on a live stream on May 18th. So mark that down on your calendars.
I will, because that's going to get me interested, if anything, because right now I'm not overly interested.
There is some DLC that is exclusive to the PlayStation 4 until fall of 2018, which has many people upset. I'm not sure how you guys feel about console exclusive DLC at this point. Does that get under your skin at all, Corey?
I think I've reached the age where I can't find a fuck to give about whether or not if DLC is going to come to one console first and then eventually come to the other. I'm fine. I can wait. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not going to freak out about it. And as far as gamers getting upset about it, gamers would get upset about anything. That's just what gamers do. That's what we do. So you got to expect it.
Jay, you have a different opinion?
Yeah, I think with that case of delaying things, it only hurts themselves, because somebody that may be on the other console that may, especially if they're delaying it a year or whatnot, and this is going to be how long? You said
it's going to be a year. It's going to be one whole
so it'll
year.
be a year. So if it's a year, they're only hurting themselves by putting a delay in that way. The only person that helps out is the one console on the other side, but they're hurting sales for themselves on the other side. I think Tomb Raider was a perfect example of that. It didn't sell great because they were exclusive to Microsoft, although I'm sure Microsoft threw them a hefty chunk of cash. But as far as the game, it only hurts the end users that may be on the other console. And if you're like, in this case, PS4, like us, we own both, so it wouldn't hurt us too much because we can buy both. But if you have friends you're playing with, they had that with the first Destiny too. Where Sony had some exclusives, and there were some weapons that were had traits that were only available on the PS4 for a year, which were held off. But if this is the actual DLC being held back, I think it just it hurts the sales on the for the anybody that may be on the other console, and hurts themselves. So
I'm going to disagree with you on that. I don't think it hurts anybody, quite honestly. It may hurt in the short term, but in the long term, they're going to make their money anyway. So it really, the only people it hurts are the people that don't have, like me. I can't play Horizon Zero Dawn because it's only on Sony. It's exclusive to that. But you know what? If I really want to play it, I'll go out and I'll get a PS4 Pro, and then I can play it. So I mean, in retrospect, I don't think it really matters. I think that in the short term, it's going to feel a little bit, but eventually they'll make their money, and it won't really matter what.
It also has to depend on what the DLC. If it's a major expansion, that is playing a little dangerous there between the two consoles. If it's just like, all right, you got the PS4 and you get this little side questing that you can do, what's the big fucking deal, right? Haven't we realized that half those things aren't worth their weight in gold by now? So,
let's go.
So it really depends on what this exclusive DLC is. Interesting thing here, and I'm not sure if this is a typo. It hasn't been confirmed or unconfirmed anywhere, but the Season's Pass is also $5 cheaper on the PS4.
I'm wondering if that was a pricing issue, or have they clarified that yet?
That's what I just said. I don't know if it's a someone fat fingered the price in there, if that's the truth or what. But on GameStop, it is $5 cheaper for the Season's Pass compared to Xbox. So that's something to just keep your eye on. That could change. That could just be a simple.
Now, was it $34.99 and $39.99. Was that the difference?
Right. So on this article that I'm looking at, they don't mention the price difference. So again, it could just be an error, but they're saying the expansion pass, which will grant you access to 2 forthcoming add-ons to Destiny 2, will be $34.99. Pricing suggests that, once again, those expansions will cost $20 individually. There are no details on either add-on yet, but a logo for the first one suggests it will have something to do with the Trials of Osiris. Expansion 2's icon is the sigil of Rasputin, the war mind from Destiny's old Russia. Now, anybody that pre-orders the game, you will get access to their beta that's coming this summer. Eventually, the people that do not pre-order will get access to it as well, and all 3 platforms will be getting the beta. And I guess this is coming out, September 8th? Is that right? That seems to be the correct date here. Mm-hmm. And the collector's edition, I'm not sure if you guys can scroll down in this article at all, but it comes with one of them at least comes with this Frontier bag. Is everybody getting their eyes on that?
That's a nice purse.
That's a satchel.
That's a satchel. Indiana Jones wears one.
That's a man bag.
Yeah, it features... So it's called a Frontier Kit, featuring a solar blanket, a solar-powered USB charger with a built-in light, and a paracord. Then there's this other thing here called the Frontier Bag, which can be worn as a backpack or messenger bag and can hold a laptop up to 15 inches in size. Hey now.
That's something that's going to go on PAX East bingo right there. How many of those we're going to see next year at PAX East?
Right.
Oh, jeez.
How many Destiny satchels?
I saw surprisingly few Fallout Pip-Boys. I did see a handful of them at this year's PAX, but not as many as I thought. That was one thing.
It's been a couple of years. I think it was bigger last year. It's been a few years since Fallout 4 has been out. Anything else you guys want to cover on Destiny? The one thing I'll say is the cover. Immediately you're getting Guardians without their helmets on, so they're trying to make a more human connection. One immediately you can tell is a female. One is a regular white dude. The other is an African-American gentleman. Does that make it any more appealing to you guys that maybe you can get some sort of connection to these characters?
Not in the least.
Yeah, they made it so you could run around without your helmet in like the tower and stuff, and in what was the other one in the asteroid belt there. But I mean, that kind of opened it up. So because I mean, you customize your character's face and then you never saw him. So maybe that's where they're headed in this direction.
Yeah, because we all know that makes a difference in the gameplay.
So absolutely.
It sounds very much like
the exact opposite.
What was that? I'm sorry. One time.
Didn't Battlefront do the exact opposite? Like, they used to let you take your Stormtrooper's helmet off, and then they were like, we're going to patch it so you can't take your Stormtrooper's helmet off anymore.
Yep.
Which
I didn't know that.
Totally made a difference. Yeah, it was like a canon thing. Like, people were complaining, but, we're gamers, we complain.
Yeah. So you very much sound like a group, with the exception of me who already pre-ordered it so I can get a little statue in my room. A wait and see May 18th. Before we get excited. That's what it seems like the pulse in the room is like at this particular time.
No, if they're going to give us an opportunity to play it in a beta or whatever, then yeah, I'll take that opportunity to decide and make my decision then.
Well, let's just say we're not throbbing just as of yet. Okay,
no,
we'll put it that
no
way.
purple helmets.
What I'm curious to ask is, now after what happened with your PS4, but at the same time this DLC is going to be exclusive to PS4. Which console did you pre-order for, Mike?
PS4.
Oh, can't stay away. Just can't stay away. You Sony pony. Such a Sony pony.
Guilty as charged. All right, let's move on now to Mass Effect Andromeda. I have only played the multiplayer, but Sean, you've been playing some of the campaign. Is that correct?
Yep. I'm about 26 hours in, I guess.
All right. So this article here from PC Gamer. BioWare is going on, let's see, what's today? Tuesday, April 4th. they're going to reveal some immediate plans for this game. Now, Sean, before we get into the article, and I know you're going to talk about it later and address some of Mafia Thug's questions about the game, but just real quick, we were just busting on how a helmet or helmetless player affects gameplay. Do any of these quirky animations affect gameplay? Have they taken you out of the, I'm going to come up with my own word here, immersiveness of the game?
Oh, immersivity. No, I'm going to be honest with you. It does not. And you know why it doesn't? Because I'm not paying attention to all the facial. I mean, yes, there are some weird ones, but some of them actually coincide with how you're talking and how you would be if you were in that situation. So I don't know. I didn't get any of the weird ones. You know, I also, for whatever reason, and this is not a question for this week, but it can be a question for future. Why do male players always play as the female? That's all I want to know. I just want to know what it is with guys that have to play as chicks. I'm curious as to the thought process there.
Well, I think for me, I'll address it very quickly, and I don't do it all the time. But a lot of times I'm just tired of being the typical white colonial marine, right? You know, just space marine, you know, just tired of that, you know, regular bland character that, you know, hey, why not? It's a video game. Why not mix it up and see how the other half live?
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just curious. It was just. I mean,
that's all it is. That's all it is for me. It's not because I can be in third person and watch her butt jiggle like I've heard some Neanderthals say.
Well, if you got to stare at a butt for 40 hours, what butt do you want to look at? I guess I don't know. But honestly, I don't. Yeah, but you know, doesn't matter to me. Who are we going to pretend like we haven't jerked off to pixels? Are we going to leave me hanging like that?
I tell you right now, I haven't.
All right. Well, I'm disgusting, so I have.
But I mean, I think what happened and not so much, and I don't know what happened, but they changed the female writer character with that patch. The female writer character before the patch did not have the animations as screwed up as they were when they changed it. And I'm not sure why they changed it. There's no rhyme or reason. I don't know what they were doing. There's been lots of theories out there, and I'm not going to repeat them because some of them are just ridiculous. But it sucks that they did that because I guess it caused a lot of whiplash throughout the gaming community. But it has not, as far as I'm concerned, taken me out of immersion of playing the game at all. I think, you know.
Okay, that's good to hear. So this article says this is the BioWare people talking. We received quite a bit of feedback, some of it positive and some of it critical. That feedback is an important part of our ongoing support of the game, and we can't wait to share more of our immediate plans with you on Tuesday, April 4th. Now, one thing I will say is, gamers are very quick to react, and I think that's what happened. But as shit seemed to subside, can't see too many people. I can't even think of anyone off the top of my head that has gone on social media, Twitter or Facebook or wherever you check things, and have blasted this game just for being a pile of shit. Everybody seems to be enjoying it. I haven't come across anybody that's been like, wow, this is really a fucking letdown. I can't believe they put this out.
Well, there was a bunch of sites that actually gave it like really low ratings, and that was affecting people from actually picking it up, which kind of sucks because And for the Future Monkeys, I had made a thing that reviews. I only skim over reviews, and I usually only take reviews from my friends that I know that play games that I can take opinions from that'll give me better opinions than the toxicity of a lot of reviews that are done, in my eyes anyway. So, people were going by reviews and saying, these people that got the early access stuff, and they're like, oh, this game is shit. All the animations are screwed up. So when I got the game, after hearing all this stuff, and I started playing it, I did not notice. I was more hypersensitive to notice anything that looked out of order, but I didn't see half the things that these people saw. So
it almost feels like that Assassin's Creed when all those faces like were fucked up and shit like that, and like a bunch of people
hilarious.
A bunch of people played the game and never saw that. It was like it was only like a small percentage of the people that actually played that got that stuff served up to them.
Yeah. One issue that I have been hearing I'm hearing that it is buggy in ways that like characters or enemies are falling through the ground. and actually preventing you from being able to move on. So basically, a game-breaking glitch.
Yeah, Sean posted that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Not
believe,
you, Sean, but the other Sean.
Right, and I believe Edie from GameHounds had that issue too, and she's saying that those are the bugs that are causing the major issues that are making it so that the game is not as enjoyable.
So Bethesda type bugs in a BioWare game.
Yeah,
right.
Basically, yeah.
And none of you guys, Corey and Jay, neither one of you have picked it up, right?
No, I had it through EA Access.
Nope.
That's it on one.
Yeah. Really enjoying the multiplayer. Need to get back into that with Runer 2 and check that out some more now that I'm getting over the Great Purge from my PS4 Pro. Anything else that you wanted to talk about, Sean, on this, or you want to wait till our game, what we've been playing?
No, I'll wait till the game we're playing.
All right. Let's move on then to some news about We Happy Few. They just recently put out an update. I'm not sure if any of you guys have played that. It's post-update.
They've put out when was the most recent update? I haven't played it for a while.
Within the last 5 to 7 days.
Okay, yeah. So, the last time I played it was after like a major update they did, but the warning still came up that said you still could potentially lose all your save file, depending on what the next update is. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to wait until this game is done cooking before I jump into it, because I don't want to play for a while and lose everything. So,
right. So I've yet to play it either. I'm sort of at the stage now, not where I've lost interest, but I just want to wait till it's done. Or at least I'm hearing reports that it's really good. And it could still be in EA Access, but it's definitely worth your investment. But this story here, which is interesting, is that they're going to have a movie adaptation for the game. So the game's not even out yet, officially, and already they're having interest of people to make a movie. So the Pitch Perfect producer, Gold Circle Entertainment, is going to be the one working on this. So I'm not sure how you guys feel about that. A movie being produced at the same time as the video game, which is, I guess, for all intents and purposes, hasn't really lit the world on fire with its, early access, feedback.
Well, it's a really cool concept, and I had really high hopes for it. It did exactly what I think Jay predicted. Like, it released a little too early. It was like pre-alpha, and it hurt the game, because a lot of people, including me, played it, and I understand what, early access means, but this game was way, way before that ever should have. They was way too early, so it turned me off to the game early. But the concept of the game is really cool. It's like this future dystopia, which borrows from a lot of really cool sci-fi, like Fahrenheit 451 and 1984. So, like, it's a really cool idea. It doesn't surprise me. Like, some movie producers are into it, but it's like, it's the producer from Pitch Perfect, which is odd, like, which is, known for like a dark comedy. So that's odd, I think. The whole story is just, I don't know, it's a little strange.
Yeah, they've also, I guess, worked on My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and they're currently in production on Pitch Perfect 3. So I'm not sure, have you guys realized, or has this been spoke about before, that this, small English town where this is all going on is supposedly like some bizarre open-air prison? Or is that Variety here, who's the article I'm referencing, using some hyperbole? So they're saying
hyperbole. It's not described as that exactly, but the description of, even when you're in the beginning of it, is that you are kind of a prisoner in this town.
Well, no more a prisoner than like a citizen in one of those dystopian movies, and the fact that there's just really strong social control over the entire society.
Yeah, correct. So what they're saying is the government has imposed a drug-induced happiness to mask gruesome violence and conceal a nefarious mystery. The story revolves around one rebellious resident illegally free of the drug's effects who risks his life to learn why his home is a bizarre open-air prison.
Yeah, essentially. I agree with you. It's hyperbole. It's not an actual prison, unless that's a spoiler that we just never got to. But I mean, it's such a cool concept, and I recommend checking out the game when it's finished. But
Yeah.
I mean,
This was all, if I'm not correct, our game of PAX East 2 years ago or 1 year ago.
it was mine. Like I think 2 years ago.
2016.
Was it
right?
2000? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's when they had the huge booth. So yeah, you're right.
Well, maybe it was 2015 is when Jay and I first saw it.
Right. I was going to say because
That's when I first saw it too.
Yeah, it
So
was
I think that's when we were maybe really jazzed for it, and then we saw it a year
Yes.
later.
yeah.
It's very ambitious, and developing a movie alongside a game that you have no idea how well it's going to do is even more ambitious. Like that's a lot of eggs for one basket.
yeah.
I saw the devs walking around PAX East. They were there. They
I
didn't have
talked to
the
them.
booth,
They were there just to check
just
things
to
out.
check things out. So
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know that the game hasn't, sort of died on the vine. It's still very much being worked on, and I will look forward to it when it is ready for prime time. But Corey, let's move on to the listener question of the week.
Yes, that's right. So this is part of our new format that we were spitballing earlier. We're going to try to have individual hosts for individual segments, and I'm hosting question of the week, bitch. So last week's question of the week, we have a little new intro for it too.
They think they got the answers. I changed the questions.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Piper. All right, last week's question of the week is, do you ever turn the sound or music down while gaming to play your own tunes? If so, what do you listen to? Would you guys like to answer, should we do our answers first, or do you guys want to do the community and then come back to us? What would you guys rather do?
Let's do the community first.
Yes.
All right,
That way we won't forget about them.
That's true, yeah. They not that they're forgettable at all.
Right.
No. All right, so you're up first, Mike.
Yes, Latina Mafia says, well, I guess it all depends on what I'm playing. If it's an FPS like Rainbow Six, then the music is off so I can hear the footsteps of my enemy. If it's something like Destiny, then I'll kick on my Spotify and start jamming to some tunes I like. Now, when it comes to music, I'm pretty eclectic, so it has to match what I'm playing. If you guys had to guess, if she's playing Destiny, what would she be playing along to it? What would you guys pick?
Something sad and regretful.
Something like Depeche Mode or The Cure?
Yeah, there you go. The Cure, perfect.
All right. The Elusive Man of the Future Monkeys podcast says, not really. I've always been the type to listen to the game all the time, even if it's mindless things like collecting for completion or whatever repetitive. I don't listen to anything but the game. Funny enough, if it's a racing game or an open world game where the radio in the car is a thing, I usually shut it off completely. So I'm guaranteeing that Los, when he plays was it Far Cry 3 or was it Far Cry 4? And when he plays Ghost Recon Wildlands, he is turning off that DJ in the car. He's putting that guy on mute.
If possible, yes. Next, we have I Inhale 420. The only game I listen to my own music while I play is sports games. The sound in other games can be very important, like footsteps in R6, or I'm trying to pay attention to the storyline.
Yeah, any game with a narrative, I would never be able to do that.
Yeah. Devious Mr. Man of the 40 cast. Absolutely, Captain Mike M., and you have been witness to this. I'll turn the sound down some on certain games and listen to Pandora, usually rock hits channel, blues, classic rock, blues, rock, etc.
Matt likes his rock.
Yes.
I want to know if he was ever listening to anything like bluesy while we were playing, what was it, Battlefront. I want to know did he ever listen to anything while we played Battlefront? I never heard anything in the background.
What threw me off a little bit is he was playing some sort of Spanish music while we were playing that. What's that game on the PC there with the dicks? game is that, Jay?
Genital jousting.
Yeah. Why was he playing some, Spanish shuffle music during, genital jousting? If you can answer that for us, Matt?
Yeah, maybe that's his lap dance music. I'm not sure, with all the genital jousting going on.
Get a little spicy.
Yeah.
All right.
Let us know, Matt.
Let's move on from Spicy Matt. All right, Crazy Dave from our Discord channel says, first time answering, and the next podcast will be my first time listening. Just kidding, of course. I like the podcast. Keep it up, fellas. Now to my answer. I turn the in-game music off on racing games and will play my own music, but for other games like MOBAs, platformers, and RPGs, during times when you're grinding, I'll turn off all sound and listen to anything that catches my fancy, like music, podcasts, sounds of whales mating, whatever. Racing has a set playlist that stays upbeat, while the other games I'll just hit shuffle on my entire music library and skip songs I don't want to listen to at the time. I did try listening to music while playing FPSs, but I guess my angry white boy music, as my wife calls it, Rage Against the Machine, Slayer, Suicidal Tendencies, did make me angry, and I'd become a controller chucker.
Yes.
So, thanks for reading. Oh, and maybe I'll give tips in the future on the hot issue of how to place an ass gasket on the toilet without falling in. We should return to that segment, I think. We should have an entire segment about that. All right, and next is Buck Sugar Free. I never listen to music. Always need the game sound. Also, I hate it when I play games and people blast their music into their mic. Oh, I fucking hate that too.
I hate that with a passion.
The online DJs, the Call of Duty DJs, I call them.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and Plop Ploop. The game music on most of my games is immediately turned down. I prefer the sounds that the game provides. However, when I'm playing some games, Rainbow Six Siege by myself, I will pull up some Spotify and play some classic music such as Mozart, Beethoven, or some Igor Stravinsky. Now, Plop Ploop took some shit about this on the Discord channel, but I want to say, Plop Ploop, I'm totally fucking with you. I have a classic playlist that's like 100 songs long, and I have my own like classical radio channel on Spotify. So yes, fuck the haters. Totally agree with you.
All right, and then we got Mafia Thug. I only play music through the Spotify app on the PS4 while gaming. I love being able to control the volume and everything through my phone. The only game I do this with is Rainbow Six. Not all the time, just when I'm feeling in the mood or I'm kicking ass at some grape popping. Actually, I need to make a grape popping playlist on Spotify. FYI, for those who don't know, Spotify is the only way to go for music. And the PS4 integration is done extremely well.
Totally agree. That's one of the reasons I moved to Spotify is because of the fucking PS4 integration.
Yeah. Well,
so we have an update from Mafia Thug.
Oh, for his response?
Yes, he says, I just found out that Rammstein is the best music to listen to for Rainbow Six.
All righty then.
Just sent us an update on Discord.
A little German.
Very nice.
While you play.
Do hosting.
Yeah.
And then we got Glovebox from the 40cast. I love hearing all the in-game sounds nowadays due to all the Dolby Pro Logic stuff going on in the games now. 7.1 sounds awesome while gaming.
Valid.
What up, Glovebox?
What up?
Soup.
Oh, it's your segment, Corey. You go ahead.
Oh, yes, you're right. I apologize. I was like, oh, what's Mike going to say? Yeah, so that's the reader responses to our questions of the week. I guess I'll go first. I don't want to throw it out there and have everybody awkwardly not know who to go first. So I rarely ever turn the music down in games, but occasionally if I'm doing something completely mindless, like when I was trying to like 100% Grand Theft Auto or something and I'm looking for all the stupid fucking pigeons or hidden packages or whatever, I used to make the time go by faster, I would prop up my iPad next to me and I would just put on some stand-up comedy on Netflix. Like I listened to all of Jim Jeffries stand-up, all of Patton Oswalt stand-up, all the stand-ups I could find. I would just listen to those while I would like aimlessly fly around Los Santos. And that always made things go by quicker. But other than that, I'm really into the sounds of video games. So I seldom ever play music over them. Jay?
With the 360, when you could rip music to the hard drive, also on the original Xbox.
Yep.
I used to rip my CDs into it, and when I was playing driving games, I would play my own music off the drive while I was playing. Mostly just the driving games. So.
Grand Theft Auto on the original Xbox, Grand Theft Auto had you could go through all the channels, or you could go to your like tape deck, and that would play any song that you had on your hard drive, like your own little playlist. I love that.
Yeah, I think you could do that in one of the racing games that they had too. I couldn't remember if it was Project Gotham or there was one of them. I think you could do that too.
Probably.
I may be wrong. Yeah, I think you could just go in and maybe it was the menu, you put it on. But either way, that's pretty much the only time I will listen to anything other than the game audio. When I say game audio, as in, whether they have background music or whatnot. And usually if they give me an option in some, like Horizon, Forza Horizon, and the Forza games and stuff like that, and just like Grand Theft Auto and stuff, you have the radio stations, and I'll usually pick the classic rock or the heavy rock stations and play those. But most of the time, I will have the music off and just kind of I'm trying to listen to the dialogue and whatnot's going on in the games, especially, if I'm playing shooters, same thing. Want to hear the shooting and whatnot, and maybe footsteps behind me because I'm really terrible at it anyway. So I need every advantage I can get. So
got to hear those grapes popping.
Got to hear those footsteps behind you when my grape pops.
Sean?
Okay, so I do this, but only for one game. And that would be Ark, because why? Because there's a lot of farming to be done, and that is absolutely boring as hell. So basically, I'll just throw on whatever playlist I got going on. I have so many now with Spotify being so diverse, I can have like 6 different playlists. And depending on what mood I'm in, whether I'm in the mood for the epic gaming music or I'm in the mood for some epic rock and roll, or something of that effect, that's what I normally play. But that's the only game I do it in, because the other games I play are all story-based, so I can't really be playing, any kind of rock music in the background while I'm trying to listen to the story that's going on. So that's my thing.
And a quick question for you, Sean. When you had the karaoke bar, what was generally played? Did you have stuff that you would play, or I don't imagine that was in game, right?
No, unfortunately, and that can be, and I don't want to go too in depth, but basically the karaoke bar was just that. And basically it was all in the voice over IP in the game. So basically you just heard people singing and no music. Because people are, well, here's the thing. Due to copywriting and everything else on Twitch, you have to be careful if you're playing music on there and somebody's streaming it, because their whole broadcast will get muted out for that entire time that the song is being played that's copyrighted. So, yeah, I'm going to see if I can find some recordings. I'll send them to you guys. You can check it out for yourself. It won't take long to figure out it's karaoke because, but it's a lot of fun. I'll just leave it at that.
I always wondered if there was any way to make karaoke worse. And, yeah, just take away the music. There you go. That'll do it. Mike?
Yes, it's my turn. Very seldom do I turn the music off. Main reason, I do most of my gaming at night, so I have my headphones on anyways. So if I turn, the sound off, what else is going to come through my headphones? I don't have Spotify hooked up. I don't even think I have a Spotify account. So that's not even an option for me. So, and the other thing, the main thing is I prefer, these people put a lot of work into their sounds and things like that, so I want to listen to that and see what they got going on. One thing I am known to do, if I get in a point where I cannot beat a certain level, and we've all had this before in gaming where you got to make a jump, you got to do something in a game that you just can't get it, I put shit on mute, because I feel like then the repeating of the sound just aggravates me.
Oh, yeah.
So I just silence everything until I can land or do whatever I need to do and then move on, and then I turn the sound back on.
I had back in when I was playing the original Watch Dogs, there was one of the mini games was the drinking mini game. I don't know if anybody ever played the drinking games in the first Watch Dogs. They were fucking awful. They were horrifically hard. And to get them done, I would go online to look for guides how to do them, and the only guides people had were like, just relax, put some soothing music on, maybe light a candle. Like there was no cheat, there was no like quick way to do it. So that I did that exact thing, but instead of mute, I literally would just put like light classical music on, and like dim the lights and be like, okay, I'm not going to throw my controller. I'm finally going to do this, and that's how I went at that. But that was the same mindset. Is I was like, I can't fucking listen to these noises anymore. They're going to drive me crazy.
Happens.
So. Oh yeah. So I guess that's it for this week's question of the week. Next week's question of the week is have you ever had a game that compelled you to get all the achievements and trophies? And if it was a game before achievements or trophies, just like 100% get a what do they call them in Final Fantasy? Like a super excellent save or whatever they call them. I can't remember what they call them in Final Fantasy, but is there ever a game out there that has compelled you to get 100% every achievement, every trophy? And if so, what game and why? So that is the question of the week, and I'll let Roddy close it out.
They think they got the answers. I change the questions.
All right, now I've hijacked the question of the week. Should I jump right into my game show, or should we take a break?
Well, let's jump right into the game show. We got a good flow going on, Corey.
Oh, all right. So the game show, I want to play my intro music. All right, the game this week is games that I think would be rad as fuck if they came to the Nintendo Switch Virtual Console, or whatever they're going to call it. Not the Virtual Console, but you guys know what I mean. So before I explain the rules, do you guys want to pick the people we're playing for?
Yes, so how many people do we need?
Well, yeah, there's no teams or anything, so it's everyone against themselves, so 3.
All right, so we got 3 people, and the prize is you are going to get a code, a digital code, and this will get you all 6 movies of the X-Men collection. So any X-Men movies that are out there, I believe there's 6, this code will let you download all of them. Seems like a decent prize. So we need 3 people, huh? All right. Jay, pick a number between 1 and 17, please.
17.
All right, you're playing for DRP. Whatever the numbers are behind that. All right. Sean, pick a number between 1 and 16, please.
10.
10, you will be playing for a Mafia Thug.
Oh, shit, dude, I apologize right now.
And I guess, Corey, you'll be picking someone for me. Pick a number between 1 and 17, but not 17 or 10, please.
5.
5, you or I will be playing for Holy Goalie.
Holy goalie. All right, so I'll explain this game. What I'm going to do is these are essentially just these are all NES games, because what they've talked about, classic NES games coming to the Switch Virtual Console. NES games that I've chosen because fuck you, I'm important and I'm running this game. So just 7 random NES games. These are all very famous games. None of these are obscure. Everybody's heard of all of these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read details about the game, starting with vague details, getting more specific. And you guys just jump in. You can interrupt me and answer it whenever you think you know the name of the game. You only get 1 shot at this. So if you fuck it up, you're out for that question. So you only get 1 response. And if you guess it after the first detail, you get 3 points. Second detail is 2. Third detail is 1 point. Everybody understand?
Yep. And these are games that we're going to have a clue about, right?
Yes. These are all very famous games. Everybody's heard of these games. So.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to need someone to keep score because I'm drinking.
I'm doing that.
Shocker.
Fuck you. Okay. The first game is this one's super vague, so you can take a shot at it. But it was a launch title when the NES launched in North America. Anybody want to take a stab?
Duck Hunt.
Ooh, sorry, sir. Nope. So
sorry.
Mike is out. Good try though. The next
Mike,
one.
you just got an elevator. Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I wish I could help you. Oh my god, I'm really no, not sorry.
Yes, I am really not sorry. All right, now the next detail for this launch title, there was a 3D remake of the game that was given away for free in 2011 to promote the Nintendo eShop. Okay, I'm going to take that silence as a no guess. And finally, remember, these are all NES games. The gameplay consists of avoiding mud puddles and hitting jumps precisely while trying not to overheat your dirt bike.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Excitebike?
Oh, yes.
You know what? It is Excitebike, but I will take Excitebike, Sean.
Oh, sorry. I was holy shit, I actually got one.
Yeah.
I think
I used to play
Excitebike
the shit out of that.
Oh, yeah. I played it like 2 days ago. Love that fucking game. And I'm going to call it Excitebike from now on, too. By the way.
Excitebike.
Until you mentioned the bike part, I was going to say Pitfall, but then I remember Pitfall was Atari.
Yeah, that wasn't
That would
Atari
have been
game.
a fail.
All right, so game number 2. There's only 7 of these because each one has a bunch of details. Game number 2. Now, this was a sequel to an NES launch title, but it was only a sequel to that game in North America. No, still super vague, so no big deal. This next one will probably give it away. The original title of this game was Doki Doki Panic, but the character sprites were swapped with licensed Nintendo characters, and the name was changed.
Oh, this is
Shit, I know this one. Oh, I can't remember the name.
I don't.
It's a Mario game.
No, that doesn't count as a response.
It's Mario
All right.
Mario World.
Sorry, Mike. I appreciate the stabs you're taking, but no, you're off the table. All right, and the last clue is this is the first game that featured a Shy Guy. You motherfuckers. No, this is Super Mario Brothers 2, you dirty
Son
bastard.
of a bitch, I was going to say that.
Well, then why didn't you say it then, Dingle?
Because the Shy Guy threw me off. I was like, what the fuck's the Shy Guy?
Yeah, it's the
That
Shy
guy's the
Guy.
red guy with the white face, red hood,
Yeah.
white face.
Play a Mario Kart. All right, next one. This launched in 1987 in North America, and the game was directed by Shigeru Miyamoto himself. No? Okay.
Final,
What?
I was going to say Final Fantasy, but it's not it, is it?
Were you going to say that, or are you saying it?
I am saying that.
No. Sir,
I just took a stab at it.
That's a Square Enix game, sir.
Oh, okay.
I think it was just Square at the time, but either way, the enemies in this game include the Darnut, the Moblin, and the Octorok.
Zelda. Legend
You
of
are
Zelda.
correct, sir. I'll take.
Holy shit.
If I'm going to take Excitebike, I'm going to take Zelda.
Excitebike.
All right, so that was 3 questions. I'm up 2-1 over Sean, and Jay has 0.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
I'm horrible at this.
Next game. I guarantee you guys have played all these games. Next game. In markets other than North America, this famous Konami title was called Probotector and Grisor. No, that's pretty
Contra.
obscure. Holy shit, look at you.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yes.
The Google in you is
I was
strong.
waiting for the second one. That's what I
No,
thought it
no,
was,
I'm
but I
not
was waiting.
Googling all. I have a mechanical fucking keyboard here that you could hear me, unlike Jay over there who's tapping away, and I can see the little blue going around his thing over there.
Your pause was just long enough to suspect Google. I'll give Sean that. Yes,
I have
you're
a
absolutely
commanding
right.
5-1 lead now.
Yes, and my next 2 clues would have been the character models were modeled after Stallone and Schwarzenegger, and it's the game that popularized the Konami code. So, all right, next game. This was the very first console game ever to feature actual NFL players.
Tecmo Bowl.
Holy shit, he's on a roll.
Fuck me.
8-1. They can't
That's-
even come back and win.
No.
That's 3 points, sir. All right, next game. This Konami sports title features 3 different difficulty levels: junior, college, and pro.
Oh, that's that Blades game.
I'm not going to accept that as
Blades of Steel.
I'm going to give that to Jay.
Come
You got him halfway there with that Blades game. I can't take that.
I'm not a fluffer.
Game.
What are you talking about?
You're a fluffer, buddy.
I'm not no NES fluffer.
There was no way I would have had that.
You're all fluffers as far as I'm sorry, Mafia Thug. I apologize.
Shit.
This isn't my thing.
The only thing I can say is boop 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 boop.
The next details were the intermission was actually a playable game, and although it's tough to hear when you pass the puck, the announcer says, "Get the pass." All right.
How many questions are left?
Last but not least, right here. This is it.
Oh.
All right. Originally, this game released in Japan under the title Spartan X, and the main character is Jackie Chan.
Oh, I know this. This is
Shit! Oh,
I've talked about this in the past.
Yakuza.
yes.
Are you saying Yakuza?
He just did.
No.
Well, you know.
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna. Yeah, Yakuza's a bit of a ridiculous answer. This is NES, motherfucker. Yakuza. Come on.
Yeah.
You're gonna kick yourself when you get the answer to this too.
I know.
All right. The next one. In the U.S. version, you control Thomas, who fights through the Devil's Temple to rescue his girlfriend Sylvia.
Oh, I know what this is now.
Yeah, you do. All right, and the very last question, or the very last clue, while the title was shortened for the NES port, the full title on most games, or most platforms, was Kung Fu Master.
Just Kung Fu.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah.
Kung Fu.
I am not good at these Nintendo games at all. And the worst part is I owned one. I used to go down to Bradley's and buy the games when they went on sale.
Oh, didn't Mike recently call out Kung Fu as like one of his favorite NES games too? That's
Yeah.
All right, so I won 8 points. Jay came in second with 4. And Mafia Thug and Sean came in last with 1 point. So congratulations to Holy Goalie. He will get a code for 6 X-Men movies. Of course, though, our rule here at Gamers in Beta, this is a listen to win podcast. So hopefully Holy Goalie still listens to us so he can claim his prize. Otherwise, if he doesn't claim it, it goes back into the prize cabinet, which we don't have. But it will go back into some sort of circular file.
It's a digital cabinet. It's a digital cabinet.
Yes,
And I'm gonna give you and Holy Goalie this. All right, you guys have entertained my retro nerdness long enough, so we can move on now.
All
Thank
right.
God. What? Oh.
Let's get into what we have been playing, gentlemen and gentle ladies and gentle lookalikes. Let's see. Corey, you have been playing only Switch titles.
Oh, yes.
Why don't you go first?
Yeah, I am unabashedly just like smitten with the Switch right now. You can call me a Nintendrone or whatever the Sony Pony equivalent is. Yeah, I'm totally into the Switch right now. I'm loving this console. I'm playing the shit out of Zelda. I don't know if anybody wants to hear me gush about that game any more than I already have. How far into it are you, Mike? I don't know if you've turned your back on Horizon.
In my, I guess you could say with my limited time and willingness to play games after the incident, that's we're just going to refer to from now on as the incident, I have made some progress in this. This is pretty much what I've been playing with the exception of a few other things. So I have tackled 8 shrines. I'm not sure how good that is, but I know I've gotten 4 orbs twice, so I was able to get 2 more heart containers or whatever.
Yep.
So that's pretty much 8 shrines, and I am into like the 3rd section. So I'm about to climb my 3rd tower to reveal the 3rd place on the map. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's where I'm at.
I highly recommend taking at least 1 or 2 options to increase your stamina, because there's certain places where you have to climb or swim where you need at least 2 increases for your stamina. I've held steady at just 2 increases and put the rest in hearts. So I do recommend doing that. There's 2 days straight where I was just like, you know what, fuck this having a map where I can't see everything. I want to know where I should and shouldn't ride my horse. So I just went around and conquered every single tower, which isn't too tough to do because you can spot almost all the towers from the other towers. So I highly recommend doing that too. You can bang that out in probably 1 or 2 nights, and that makes everything way, way easier. So I think I'm about probably halfway through the game. I think I'm between 40 and 50 hours right now, which is I haven't put that much time into a game in years, probably not since Skyrim. And I'm still just like balls deep into this game. I love it so much.
The more I play it, I'm just like, holy fuck, this is awesome. Yeah, it's just so well done. And I'm not big into these, I guess you could say, Japanese created games. For all intents and purposes, Zelda is, right?
It's very clear the Japanese influences, especially when you go into like Kakariko Village or like Hateno Village. It's very apparent.
Did you just say Cockring Village?
Yeah, Cockring Village. You've never been there?
No, I haven't.
One thing that's thrown me off a little bit with this game is I wasn't expecting there to be so many people in the game. I don't know why. I mean, like I said, I haven't played a Zelda game since the first one. And I don't know if the other ones have a lot of people in them or not. But I was thrown off by that. It's certainly because at the Great Plateau, it's just you and the old guy.
Right.
And then so all of a sudden I unlock, I get the paraglide thing and I'm going all these other places and there's all these other people. And that threw me for a loop. But the more I play it, I love it. And I'm actually now doing a little bit of a change of pace. I'm playing it more on the TV than I am on the handheld just for some reason, which we'll probably get to in one of our news stories. But, yeah, I really enjoy it. And every time I play, I'm like, just got a smile on my face. This is fucking damn good.
Oh, it's so pleasant. Every single time I finish playing it and like I have to go to bed, which is always like an hour and a half later than I would have liked to have gone to bed, that's all I think is like, holy fuck, this game is so goddamn pleasant. Just everything about it. I know it's a cliched thing to say, but like the open world feels like a world. And when you're given like a goal, you have all these different ways you can solve it. And just looking online at some of the different ways people have solved, problems is very it's very inspiring and very freeing. And I love how little they hold your hand and how little they tell you, and you just have to figure everything out. So the only thing that actually made the game way more enjoyable to play is when I got the Pro Controller. I fucking love playing it with a Pro Controller now.
Pro Controller is very nice.
Oh, yes. Very, very nice. And other than that, the only other game I'm playing, also on the Switch, is Snake Pass, which we really enjoyed at PAX East, but I bought it so I would have something else to play with my daughter because we watched the trailer and she really was into it. And that game is it's not good. I don't recommend it at all. The controls, it's a very unique platformer because you control a snake and you have to like wrap around things to get to different areas. But the controls are very not precise. And the game is hard, but it's harder than it should be because of how imprecise I find the controls to be. And it's infuriating when you climb like really, really high, and for some reason when you hit the A button to lift the snake's head, he just unwraps himself around whatever you were coiled around, and you just plummet all the way back to the bottom and have to start over. And especially when you have a 3-year-old sitting in your lap being like, Dada, do it, Dada, climb, Dada. It's a test in patience, and it fucking drives me crazy. So it is $20. It's not a full price game, but know that it's going to frustrate the shit out of you.
Right. I felt similar things. What I will say is it feels like a beautiful game, and because you are a snake and you are low to the ground, you don't get to experience the beautifulness of the game because, when the level starts, they give you this like sort of top-down view. It sort of like takes you through the level almost like a bird, like you can see stuff. But then you never really get to enjoy any of that because you're just so low to the ground. So that's one thing that's kind of like a bummer for me. But the other thing is, right, the controls aren't that precise. What I have just resigned myself to is not get everything. Right? Get the 3 gemstones, get as many of the coins and bubbles as you can, and then move on. Yeah. I think if you're really going as to be a completionist on every level right out of the chute, you're just going to bang your head against the wall.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. Like, I've tried a few levels to get all the bubbles and the coins, and it's fucking impossible. It's going to be a controller chucka.
And the first time I died, I was horrified. I didn't know the snake could die.
Yeah, you can plummet off the edge of the level.
Right, which I've done about a zillion times. But the first time I was like, no, noodles, no.
Yeah. The characters are cute. They have really no personality, like other than the fact that they're kind of adorable. And the camera is bad. I'm like Mario 64 level bad. It'll swing around behind a tree at like a critical moment when you need to know where the fuck your snake's head is. And it's just there's been a few times with my daughter in my lap where I'm like, okay, we're done playing, and she'll like freak out and get upset, and I'm like, motherfucker, I got to get this last keystone. I can't get the keystone.
Can I ask a question here?
Yes.
Do you think maybe this is not meant for our age group? Just putting it out there that I see a lot of kids were playing that game and were loving it at PAX, and it seems like maybe it's not really meant for us who are used to more control-friendly games.
Well,
maybe? I'm not sure.
I'm not looking for like the godfather of narratives or anything here, but I mean, even if I was 8 and I climbed all the way to the top of a tower and suddenly my snake just pulled himself off the tower because I hit the A button when it looked like I should have, that's not fair for an 8-year-old either. And I did love it at PAX East, but never during my PAX East demo did I really, get into an intricate climb. It was just like, feel how it feels to move like a snake. You never really had to do any super intensive problem solving.
It's one of the games that like beats you over the head with those like tutorial bubbles, like hold ZL to tighten your grip around this thing for more intricate climbs. And I'm like, motherfucker, if I'm holding that ZL down any tighter, I'm gonna pop my fingers off.
Yeah, because you slide. Even when you're gripping it, sometimes if you don't have enough of your snake's mass against the side of it, you'll still fucking slowly slide off, and that just it's. Right. It can make you mad.
I will say this. All the things that we're complaining about can certainly be patched and fixed. I don't think there's anything that can't be adjusted, and fine-tuned.
Yes.
I'm curious to see. We're already seeing some games on the Switch being patched, so hopefully this, the game is out on many other platforms. I think it's on your microwaves and refrigerators as well. So hopefully there's a patch coming to sort of address those things. But the general sentiment I've seen on social media is the game is fucking hard.
Yeah, it's hard, but I don't think it's deservedly hard like I would call Dark Souls or Super Meat Boy, which had really tight controls and, knew what it was. I think it's harder than it really should be just because of the imprecise controls.
Yeah. And that's a good segue. Corey, you're done with your games, right?
Yep.
All right, so I've been playing those 2 games as well, and so I'll move on to the rest of I've been playing Old Time Hockey on the PS4. So this is made by I would guess, a small development team, maybe 10, 20 people, I don't know. And, it's a game that has already been patched 7 times on the PS4. So they're hard at work fixing things that many people have been complaining about. So it's, it's an old school hockey game. Don't come into this going, this is going to rival NHL, whatever the latest NHL game is, right? That EA puts out and that hundreds of people work on. It definitely has some quirkiness to it, to some bugs, but I just love the overall, nostalgia feel to it, to the music, the fighting, the goons in the game. I cannot stop hip checking people, and then the little birdies go around their heads and things like that. Very, very satisfying when I can get 3 hip checks in a row. But it definitely takes some time getting used to I think they call it the advanced mechanics. And so I'm seeing Holy Goalie and Holy Headshot complaining on Twitter about the game. But I think, the more time you spend with it, the better handle you can get on the controls. I'm really loving it. I'm at a point now in the story mode. They have these objectives. So I have to win the game. I have to get 3 goals while I'm on fire. So the more hip checks and body checks and things like that you do, your team becomes on fire, essentially. The more you do those goals you score, you can agitate the goaltender. So I had to do 3 things: score 3 goals, win the game, and agitate the goaltender to sort of pass my primary objectives to move on. Well, I haven't been able to do that for about a week now. So we'll see if I'm able to progress from that. It's not very easy. I have found that you can get 2 goals while you're on fire, and there's some sort of mechanic in the game that sort of switches the game in the favor of the other team once you've already gotten these 2 goals and you're up by a couple goals. They bring out all their fighters out on the ice, and instead of you trying to make progress to score another goal, you spend the whole period just fighting guys.
Is the on fire essentially like NBA Jam's on fire? Are you more likely to make goals when you're on fire?
Yeah, so what happens is your logo in the upper right-hand corner for your team goes on fire, and then there's a streak when you're passing or shooting that's essentially like a fire trail.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then the goalie's net goes on fire when you score a goal.
Nice.
So I'm really enjoying it. Again, I think that's like, Snake Pass, $20 game. It's on PS4 and Steam right now. I'm not sure if it's on Xbox One. It might be. And, your mileage will vary. It's definitely rough around the edges, but they are working, it seems like around the clock to adjust things. And Holy Headshot says on Twitter that they are very vocal on Steam, on the community boards, listening to people's feedback and things like that. So I'm thinking of reaching out to them and maybe getting them on the podcast at some point and talk about why they wanted to create this game, and try to compete in the sports arena, so to speak.
Nice.
Other than that, I did some Battlefield 1 last night with Devious Mr. Matt, playing some of the new maps in the France DLC. I think all the DLC maps are based in France, so did a little bit of that last night. That was enjoyable. And then I reluctantly did put in Horizon Zero Dawn again and have made a little bit of progress. I haven't got to the proving yet. I'm only at level 4. But still so good. So I think I'm going to have to sort of just tuck my tail and get through it and get back to where I was. But it's going to be a slow slog through it.
The nice thing is you can quickly go through the dialogue, so you don't have to go through it again. Or like you said, you've already done the story. They do have that option in there, which a lot of games don't. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. So that's what I've been playing, but mostly a lot of Zelda. Really just in love with that game. I feel like I'm getting better at it. One thing as I go through it, Corey, is like, am I missing again, because I haven't played a lot of these games, I'm sort of self-conscious about playing Zelda, and I'm like, am I going through this and missing like major things that I should be like leveling up my guy? And I look at other people's like pictures on Twitter where their character like looks completely different than mine, and I'm like, fuck, did I miss something? Did I screw something up? Am I totally going to be underpowered when I get to a certain level? So I'm sort of playing a little bit like that, but I feel like the game has not been challenging yet for me.
Well, there is no real actual levels. I think the only Zelda game you ever actually leveled up in was Zelda 2. So there's no real levels. It's just, hearts.
I would consider that leveling up the heart. Just a different way to display it.
I guess you have more life, but I would recommend going to one of the villages, buying yourself some decent armor, and maybe just sit down, take an evening or two and just bang out some side quests. And bang out shrines, just like climb up to a tower, and you can look with your like spyglass or whatever, and you can hit a button to mark things via your spyglass, which is a really cool feature. It's what do you click in the right stick, whatever that's called? I think you use your Sheikah slate to just like look far into the distance. You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't even know that was not possible. I just always looked at the map through the Sheikah slate thing, like pressing the the negative button.
If you press on the right stick, you'll like look like a binoculars type thing. You'll look off into the distance, and if you see something interesting, you hit, I think, the A button, and you'll put a pin in your map on that spot. So it appears on your maps. You're like, oh, that's way over there. I'll go over there. So find a few shrines and just do that, and that'll help you level up. I highly, highly recommend side quests because you get a lot of cool gear. Like I have gear that lets me climb faster, swim faster, all that stuff.
The one thing, and I think a lot of people have mentioned this, that's the one bummer of the game, is weapons deteriorating, right?
Yeah, they deteriorate slower the better weapons you get, and then you find weapons that are like variations of the same weapon. Like this one is the same soldier's bow or knight's bow, but it has like a diamond next to it, which means it deteriorates way slower. And you can only hold so many weapons at once, so I'm stocked all the time.
Yeah, I keep running out. I keep like, you don't have room to pick this up, and then you got to go through and drop something. I wish you could drop stuff right in that quick menu.
Yeah, me too. That's one thing I would like in a patch is quick menu, just an option to drop, because having to go into your inventory every time can be a pain.
All right, Jay, by the sounds of all the rustling going on there, you want to talk about something. So what have you been up to?
Playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Game, again, has entertained me like no other game has in a long time. Maybe more so than Witcher. I'm really getting in-depth into the story now. and I've done a lot of the side stuff and whatnot. And the story, I'm playing till 2 a.m. every day. Just I jump on and I can't stop playing. I want to know, and especially now where the story is going, I just want to continue on and keep playing. And again, I want to be spoiler free, so I'm not going to tell you much about that. But I will say that the gameplay continues to unlock and open up new things and keep things new and exciting as you go along. And I still just absolutely love hunting. So there is that. And then the other thing I've been playing is Mushroom 11, which if you go back to Gamers in Beta episode 124, we did an interview with them. And during that interview, I believe we had asked about if they'd ever release it on anything else. And one of the things that I had been curious about was whether they'd ever put it out on like phone or tablet. Well, it's out on iOS now, and I believe it's out on Android also. And I've been I downloaded that, and I've been playing that, and it works very well with touch. I like it even better than playing with the mouse. So I've been playing that a lot, and that is you kind of have this shape that you can use a circle with your finger, and you kind of are erasing pieces of this shape that moves along. So, and you get a kind of a puzzle platformer in this way that you have to move around like that. So I've been enjoying that. That's what I've been playing. And then, of course, more Angry Birds as usual. So, but and other than that, I was sick for like 5 days, and 3 of those days I was so sick that I couldn't play. I didn't even want to play games. So there was that. Even no matter how compelling the story was in Horizon Zero Dawn, I still did not want to play it during those 3 days. I was so sick. So that's why a lesser amount of games.
When I played Mushroom 11 at Boston Festival of Indie Games, I asked that exact thing. I was like, "Is this going to come to iOS? Because this seems like perfect for touch." And when I got that email last week that it's now out on iOS, I really debated on buying it. Do you know? Is it multi-touch? Can you touch more than one spot or no?
I haven't tried multi-touch because it just doesn't. It doesn't really work that way. But I don't know.
Have you? How far into it are you? Because it did get really hard. That game got super.
Yeah, it
hard.
does get very hard, and I'm wondering. I'm kind of curious. I think they may have not necessarily dumbed it down, but made it a little bit easier with the touch. I'm not sure.
So I want to interrupt you just real quickly while you're talking about this. The game is $4.99 on the iOS store, and it is designed with multi-touch in its core for a complete tactile experience.
There you go.
Multi-touch would make that game way easier because there's some, like Jay said, you control like a blob, and you don't actually ever move. You just delete, and it automatically grows other cells. So you always have the same number of cells.
Yeah.
And that's how you kind of move. So like with a mouse, that was really fucking tough to do, especially quickly. So like, multi-touch would be way better.
Yeah, we know you guys are better at touching quickly.
Oh,
I just like to grow.
Yeah. Well, with the multi-touch, you could like swipe down both sides of it and make it kind of grow vertically, which was one of the things that was really tough to do with just a single, using the mouse.
Yeah, that's the way I usually like to do it, grow vertically.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Constant swipes make me grow vertically, too.
Yeah.
So it's speed running and scoring challenges will keep you coming back for hours and hours of, wait for it, fungus.
Oh.
Fungal fun.
Yeah,
it's $4.99 Editor's Choice Award on the iOS store. It's got a 4.5 rating or 4.5 stars of 90 reviews so far.
Super cool platformer. Really, really like inventive idea.
Very unique movement. I think we mentioned that about the Steam version or the PC version. I really enjoyed it, and I thought that was something that would really fit for a mobile game, and it really does. I'm enjoying it. So, but like Corey said, the later levels do get hard, but that's not unique when you're talking a puzzle game. You know, it's got to get harder as you move along. So,
Yeah, the more strokes, the harder it gets.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Like wood. All right, are you the only one left, Sean?
Yes, sir.
All right, so before you go, not go anywhere, but before you go on and talk about Mass Effect Andromeda, Mafia Thug chimed in and says, if you guys want to talk about it being Mass Effect Andromeda, maybe explain the Apex rankings and stuff a little more. I'm still confused as fuck as to why I have the different ratings, Apex, APV, and my own. So, Sean, talk about your impressions of the game, and then maybe answer some of his questions, if you may.
Yes, and I'm gonna put this shout out to Mafia Thug. If you want to grab me on Discord one night, I can go in voice, so I can go over these things more in depth, because I'm gonna kind of skim through it, because I don't want to. A lot of this stuff is really convoluted in a lot of ways, but I love the game. I picked it up, and I have about 26 hours in, and I'm only about 27 or 20% done yet. So, I mean, it's definitely kept my attention. I definitely played every night, kind of like Jay does with Horizon Zero Dawn. I try not to play it like that. I have gotten to the point where one night last week I was playing it and then realized I had to be to work in 2 hours and I need to get some sleep. So I got myself stuck on a mission and completely forgot what time it was. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. But it's really cool. To go over the rankings a little bit, and I'll just make this short and sweet. The AVP that you're talking about, well, we'll start with Apex. Apex is basically missions you can do either in multiplayer or you can send out a strike team. Because you have strike teams you can send out and do missions that what basically it does is you set them out on their own, they come back and it gives you XP. So it gives you XP, it gives you bonus items, it could give you weapons, it could give you elements and things of that nature. But Apex, you can do a multiplayer. So if I want to go in and do an Apex mission, I can launch multiplayer right from the screen inside the single-player campaign. So if I say I want to do an Apex mission to retrieve data or something from one, I hit multiplayer, I go in, and I can play with random people, or Holy Headshot helped me out with one of my Apex missions last week. We went in and we cleared one of them up, and then I came back into single-player, and I had bonuses in single-player and in multiplayer. So you get rewarded in both. So that's what the Apex points are. The Apex points are used to unlock more people for your strike teams, because right now I only have 2 people unlocked. So those are the only 2 people that I can send on missions, and I can only send one at a time. So one can go and do one mission, and it'll give you the status of the percentage of if they're going to pass or not. Because I've had a couple of missions on it that said 5% chance of success. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that one right now.
Never tell me the odds.
Yeah, it was so, and the most of the missions I've sent them on have been 74% or 80%. I'm going to go with that because I'm going to take that chance. But so that's the Apex stuff in a nutshell. But like I said, Mafia Thug, you want to reach out to me on Discord, I can go over these a little bit better. AVP is basically your Andromeda viability points, which basically means that they represent the collective integrity of your colonization efforts in Andromeda. So you earn AVP by scouting planets, making allies, defeating threats, repairing damaged environments, and other actions that make Helios a home. What you can do with those points is you can unlock more people from the cryo chambers. So you want to do that because you need more people to do other things. You open up markets. You can open up more research, open up military stuff. That I don't want to go into too much because this is spoiler territory because this isn't part of the game. So that's basically the Andromeda viability, and that's all points that you want to put towards unlocking cryo cells so you can send them in to do things in the game, doing scientific stuff or military things of that nature, and so on and so forth. Your points go into, because in this game, which is what I love about this game, is I don't have to be stuck as a class. I can change classes throughout the mission if I want to, like I've done. The classes are, Soldier, Vanguard, and I'm not going to remember all of them. But basically, you can just put points into any one of those classes, with points that you get from missions as you complete things, and it makes it a lot easier because what I like to do is I like to switch between the classes depending on where I'm going. So if I know, something might be a little more difficult than others, and I'll switch classes and go from soldier to maybe a biotic or soldier to a vanguard or something, depending on what the powers are and the percentages of damage points that you can put in. So that's pretty much it. I don't want to go into too much depth because this is a longer conversation, and I don't want the show to drag on. So, but like I said, Mafia, if you want to reach out to me at Discord, I'll be more than happy to sit down and go through all this stuff, in depth. But I love this game. Absolutely love this game. With all the people bitching about it on the internet, because that's what gamers do, I guess, is they bitch. So, oh my God, the facial animations are so weird. Well, why are you paying attention to them so clearly? I mean, does that have anything to do with the story? So
while you're talking about the story there, Sean, let me interrupt. Now that you have 26 hours in, if someone who's never played the campaign, do you feel that they would be lost at any certain point? No, I don't think. Someone who's playing the campaign, no, I don't. This game, it doesn't hold your hand, but it does give you cues into what you're supposed to do. But as any Mass Effect game, it has 1.5 zillion side missions. So that's another thing to be considered that will all tie into the main game some way or the other. So if anybody's out there saying, well, I never played Mass Effect 1 through 3, why should I play this? There should be no concerns. This seems like a fresh start, and you're not going to have your head in the clouds. Yeah, it's a fresh start. I think a lot of the hate is also coming from the fact that there's no Commander Shepard. I think that's where a lot of the hate's coming from. A lot of people are like, it's not Commander Shepard, and this is not his favorite place on the Citadel, and blah, 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 blah. So I think that might be where the hate is. These are all brand new characters. This is, I believe, 600 years into the future.
600. Wow, that was going to be my question. I was going to ask how long after the last Mass Effect.
Because they do mention some of the characters from the beginning, which it means that Commander Shepard came before this mission, contrary to popular belief, I believe. But I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because they mentioned the Citadel. They mentioned some of the characters from the last games. So, and in passing, in like a history type thing. So, yeah. No, I think you can pick this game up fresh, new, not having ever played Mass Effect. You'll have to get used to all the things that are in here that are from the other games. But, I mean, that's not that hard to do. And, I mean, it's really not that hard to play. So, cool. That's my thoughts. Did you have anything else to add on ARC, or are we moving on? Well, I'll just really quick say about ARC. If you want to hear about the big mass salty fest that's going on right now about ARC, go check out the Rated ARC podcast on Podbeam and iTunes and whatnot. I'm sure they'll be discussing it. Our Wildcard put a huge nerf in for the flyers, which basically means that they're your birds. They took the speed away from them, so you can no longer level up speed at all. So now it's down to base level speed. So basically, you're moving it. Yeah, that's coming to you too. They nerfed it. It's not permanent. No, that's what I don't think people understand. They did this so they can take the feedback and then adjust it accordingly. Instead of doing it in increments, they just did it all at once. This way, that when they go back in to adjust it, they'll adjust it, to whatever. But yeah, they took away the completely. It's gone. The button's gone. You can't even do anything. It's all set back to 100 or whatever the bird starts off at. So.
Wow, so now it's going to take me 900 years to fly across the island with my Argent? That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so, but like I said, check out the Rated ARC podcast for that, and I'll stop talking now so we can move on. All righty. Notable releases for this week, gentlemen. There are a handful. First is Bulletstorm, the full clip edition. Jay, you still getting this?
Not sure.
With Duke Nukem, right? Isn't Duke Nukem in this edition?
Yeah. I mean, the original is backwards compatible, and if you really don't care about the Duke Nukem stuff, I mean, they did add a little bit extra stuff. So, I don't know. We'll see.
A free PS Plus game is going to be Drawn to Death. Again, that's Dave Jaffe, formerly of Twisted Metal and God of War.
And that's a PvP multiplayer, correct?
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
Lego City Undercover, a smash hit from the Wii U, is now coming to consoles.
And Switch. I think that's one of the things. That's one of the few things in upcoming Switch eShop.
It's like a GTA in the Lego world.
Yeah.
My son has put hundreds of hours in that. on the Wii U. Persona 5. That's another PS4 exclusive, or is that on PC as well?
I'm not sure if it's on the PC, but I know it's reviewing very well. I know people are gushing about it on the Twitters.
Yeah, I know it's not on Xbox, but I know it could be a PS4 PC thing, or it could just be a PS4 thing. I'm not sure of it. And lastly, some DLC for Dead Rising 4, Frank Rising. So those are some of the highlights for this week. But now we're going to wrap up the show here with some news bits. We have, for this week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 news items that we're going to talk about at length, maybe.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Read all about it.
Don't step on the newsy kid. Come on.
Come on now. Can we talk about that
Listen, let me explain something. Let me say, if I was the only one to have stepped on anything, that would be one thing. But let's be honest, guys.
Extra, read all about it.
All right. We ready, gentlemen, to get through these 8 plentiful, bountiful topics?
We can probably do it. The first one's about For Honor, a game you're definitely going to play, right? Because all your save data still exists.
The Incident. Now, I was totally unaware that this game went tits fucking up. Like, totally unaware that this game had some major issues. So let me read this statement, and then that sort of alludes to how bad I think things went for this game post-launch. This is from the developer. Our top priority right now is stabilizing the game experience. Our top engineers have been working to address connectivity and matchmaking issues since launch. On top of that, we are working on balancing our heroes, bringing back the maps we removed, and making sure our upcoming content is easily accessible. Those maps were the ones showing the highest rates of desync, and we want to reintroduce them progressively after our testing. Speaking of that, we are happy to bring back River Fort today, and hopefully we will reintroduce High Fort as soon as possible. So I was totally unaware that maps were being taken away. Any of this shit was going on. And I guess they've also done some, done some work, I guess, around purchasing things. So the steel income has changed. So now all matches, steel income are increased by 25%. In daily orders, steel income is increased by 33%. Side orders, 50%. And community orders, rewards are increased from 500 to 1,000 to 2,000. So big things going on there. I'm not sure if there's much of a community there left at this point. I also heard that there was people boycotting the game.
For what reason?
I think some of these issues. Something specifically about the steel, I think, that there was a boycott going on.
Really? Gamers boycotting? I don't see it.
No.
They're totally rational people.
Right.
Now, here's a quick question for you, Mike. Where with these, they're server-based, is your save, your character and your progression in that still on there? So the story was saved locally on the drive and didn't get put up then?
Only thing I've done online ranking should hopefully be there, just like Mass Effect.
Yep. And Battlefield and stuff.
Yeah, Battlefield actually had a pull down last night because if you remember, I hate games that do this. I despise it, and both times that I can remember, it's fucking EA that does it. And games that don't let me get right to the content, they force me to play something. So in Madden, they always force you to play like, the game's at the very end here. It's 30 to 30, ball in hand, a minute left, and you got to score like a winning touchdown. And then once you do that, you can play the game. Yeah. And in Battlefield, they make you play that little story montage in the beginning. I was like, well, I got to do this again. And then I went to the cloud and I pulled my shit down. And the date on that was December 30th. So I might have lost some story there, but you're right. All the multiplayer stuff is saved on EA's servers. Yeah, and I'm hoping the same here with Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Let's move on here. Story number 7. Titanfall 2 update adds free map and more. This update is already out. Another title I'm not sure how many people are playing online. They have a lot of new things that are in this update. We won't, read you all of them, but the update adds a new map in the form of Colony from the first Titanfall. Also included is a new weapon, the R101, and the curb check execution.
Jay, you were pretty into this for a while too, right? Or did you play much of the multiplayer?
I didn't play, and I have literally not played any of the multiplayer on this. I played the campaign, thoroughly enjoyed it, but never really went in and played the multiplayer, which kind of surprised me a little bit because I liked the multiplayer in 1 so much. So.
That's all there was.
Yeah, well, exactly. But but I did play it quite a bit. In this one, I didn't even try it. Just too many games, like just moving from game to game, So
all the content is free, but this update also adds new paid items. You can now buy 2 new Prime Titans, while 20 each of the new camos, banners, and patches are now available to purchase as well. Moving on. Item number 6 here. Mad Catz files for bankruptcy.
See ya.
Everybody's shedding a tear.
Not at all.
I learned somewhat of a financial lesson reading this article, that there are 2 levels, maybe there's even multiple levels of bankruptcy. So usually when you file for Chapter 11, this enables the company to reorganize under the oversights of the court system.
I believe they already did that, right?
Maybe. But Chapter 7 is like the death knell, like a death sentence. Chapter 7 is not the kind of bankruptcy that a company comes back from. Mad Catz executives have resigned, the company has ceased operations, and it will now move to an orderly liquidation of its assets.
Yeah, Chapter 7 is a fuck it, we're done here. We are fucking done. Which is good. Mad Catz, I don't know about you guys, but I have bought a bunch of Mad Catz peripherals, and they all have sucked shit through a straw.
They serve the purpose, right? They serve the purpose.
They attempted to serve a purpose, but they didn't serve it fully because none of those controllers ever fucking worked for me.
I mean, it's like getting the Bobo jeans or sneakers at, like a Walmart or something like that. Yeah, they're going to get you down the street, but they're going to get you down the street more than twice. Maybe the third time you turn the corner, the sole will fall off your shoe, or the pants will bust in the seam somewhere. I mean, it's the same type of thing.
So to me, this is self-inflicted to themselves.
I would say so. I don't think they kept up with the times, and their products always sucked. They
also backed Rock Band coming back.
And that's what killed them. They overproduced way too much plastic and owed out too much, and it didn't sell like they thought it was because, remember, they went into publishing. They published Rock Band 4.
Yeah, I'm not going to miss you, Mad Catz. See you later.
Pour one out for Mad Catz. Nope.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Rocket League DLC, Fate of the Furious DLC, and no, this is not an April Fool's joke. Looks like they're going to be doing some promotion with the movie, Fate of the Furious. This is going to be a $2 DLC pack. It's going to be out on Steam April 4th, and it looks like it's going to be coming with Dom Toretto's Ice Charger as a premium battle car. The package also includes exclusive wheels and 6 unique decals.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this completely makes sense. I mean, they've been doing promotions with other movies. They have the Batmobile, the DeLorean and stuff. And this is a car movie. It totally makes sense that they're doing this.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool, actually. I was looking into this, so I'm definitely going to pick this pack up.
All right, we are halfway through the news here. We are on item number, let's see here, this would be 5. Horizon Zero Dawn patch fixes progression issues, adds 3D audio support. This is update number 1.12. Does anybody have 3D audio support at this particular time?
I don't even know what that is.
If you have a 3D headset, supposedly.
Oh, for a 3D headset.
Isn't the new Sony Platinum headset or something like that supposed to use that?
I think so.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know of, and no, I don't own one, and I don't know anybody that does. So if you do own one, let us know, and let us know how it sounds. But yeah, they had 3 updates on Horizon Zero Dawn in a week, I believe. So
that's good.
And this is the latest. Yeah, they're trying to fix some of these, the issues that they're having that are not 3D sound related. So progression issues.
Yep, improved pathfinding to quest markers and custom waypoints when players are on a mount. Improved performance in several areas in the game, as well as several improvements to the light map. And then there's a whole long list of bug fixes that we will not read and bore you with. But for those still enjoying the game, it is good to know that Guerrilla Games is still working on it, still trying to perfect it, and I'm sure they're paving the way for some DLC at some point.
Is there a season pass available for HCD or no?
No, they've never even announced that there was going to be any DLC until maybe a week ago. I saw something tweeted out that they, with reference directly from Guerrillas, mentioning that they are looking to do some DLC.
Oh, okay. I think it was just assumed, such a big AAA game. Every AAA game has a goddamn season pass now.
All right, moving on. 3 left here. Far Cry 3 joins backwards compatibility on the Xbox One.
Yeah,
is that the one you used to play all the time, Jay? Far Cry 3?
Yeah, I liked Far Cry 3 better because the story and as you played through and whatnot was much better. I thought than 4 was. I didn't like 4 nearly as much. 3 was great. I really enjoyed the story in that.
If you've been listening to Gamers in Beta at all for any length of time, I've always complained that it's tough to find out when games are coming to the Xbox One. Seems like Xbox Wire might have something going on here. They got a new page now called Next Week on Xbox, and it's the upcoming games. So that'll be in the show notes. One game that I'll call to your attention, Holy Goalie and Skank Hunt and Juggler of Geese and everybody else that was at the GIB Festivus. Enter the Gungeon, coming to the Xbox One on April 5th. One of your tough questions, wasn't it, Corey?
It was a question. Everybody looked at me sideways like I'd never heard about that goddamn game before. So, which, by the way, that game sadly does not support multiplayer. It's got no online multiplayer, and there is couch co-op, but I guess it's very cumbersome and kind of a pain in the ass. So I almost pulled the trigger on that game, assuming that there was multiplayer, and then I found that out, and I'm like, fuck it.
And the last news item here will circle back to Zelda, because everything comes back to Zelda. There is a new patch out that improves frame rate, and I could tell the difference. Even my old crusty eyes could tell the difference. That's one of the reasons I mentioned now. I'm playing it more on my television than I am the handheld because I think it is improved now.
It took a while for people to figure out what the hell the patch notes actually did because the notes just said adjustments have been made to make a more pleasant gaming experience.
That's so Nintendo.
Super vague. Yeah, Nintendo's like, what? We're not used to this whole patching things. The game's better now. The game's better now. Play it.
Jeez.
Yep.
I thought it looked pretty that night that I saw when I was at your house, Corey. That thing looked pretty as it was. It is
a gorgeous game. I remember in one of the previous episodes, I did kind of rag on it for saying it's not the most excellent, looking game you've ever seen. And some textures look weird, like if you're climbing a rock and you're up against a rock, it's not like an amazing texture. But the cartoon aesthetic, I really enjoy. I think it looks really cool. I think Link looks awesome, and I love the way the enemies look.
All right. See how quickly we got through the news, gentlemen? Let's segue into some shout-outs here. Let's take care of some important business first and foremost. Someone has informed us that this month is going to be the birthday for Latina Mafia. Mm-hmm. So we want to wish our Discord friend a happy birthday, and we have a little song for you right now.
We were going to sing, but we think that the Ramones can do it way, way better.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We love you, Latina.
Yes. Let's give some shout-outs to Meef J and Juggler of Geese. Both of them are going through their own various health issues, whether it's them or a family member. So just shouting out those guys, and hopefully everything goes well and turns around in your favor for you. Let's get into our own shout-outs, shall we? Corey, you have anything?
Yeah, I just want to say that finally all of our PAX coverage is totally up. You guys probably don't care anymore, but we do have some stuff that's not time sensitive. Our cosplay vids are up. Those are funny, I promise. Go check them out on Bagel Games YouTube page, youtube.com/BagelGames, which, by the way, I'm a features editor there, so that's why I'm plugging that site. I highly encourage you to check out the unnecessary censorship video. I had a lot of fun with that one. That one's a lot of fun. And not a ton of other stuff to plug. Things that I don't have anything directly to do with. The first episode of season 3 of Rick and Morty came out last night. If you like that show, it was live streaming on Adult Swim, just like in a loop all night last night. So kudos to them for putting it out on April 1st, because no one fucking believed it. But it's amazing. So check it out. It's probably still available on Adult Swim. And also, if you're looking for shit to watch, the Dave Chappelle special on Netflix is awesome. Better Call Saul season 2 on Netflix is awesome. And the new season of Trailer Park Boys is on Netflix. So check out all that shit, because it's really good.
I saw Saul was out. I was like, yeah, I got to check that out.
Oh, and also I am the social media coordinator, or social media... Yeah, I guess it's coordinator for BagelGames.com. So follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We give away free games. There's actually a contest running right now for the next week, so you still might have time if you want to get the Ringed City DLC for Dark Souls 3 on Xbox One. There's a contest going. Not a lot of people have gotten the contest, so you got good odds if you want to get in on that.
And they've got some good videos up, some entertaining videos from PAX with the cosplayers, which must admit, I've been enjoying lately.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
All right. Sean, how about yourself?
I'd like to shout out you guys for cobbling together this podcast again. I wasn't sure there for a bit, but I want to shout out you guys for getting together and hashing out the details and getting this podcast up and going again. And also to shout out the listeners who've been listening. Give us a shout out. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know if there's something you'd like to hear, see, something, maybe a segment you'd like to listen for us to do. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, Jay.
I'm going to go over some old housekeeping things here, which are kind of a shout out. Well, first is the shout out. Thank you guys. We did take kind of a break, and we're kind of reevaluating things, and everybody has come together to make sure that we will continue on. And I want to thank all of you guys for that. I really enjoy coming on here and discussing games with some friends. So I'm glad that we're continuing on with this and continuing on with the game talk and just casually shitting on each other, which is kind of nice. But obviously we have Discord. And I'm going to ask some of the people that are on Discord if they could do us a favor and mention on some podcast reviews on wherever you may listen, if you could put a review in, and let other people know what drew you into the podcast and why you listen and how much you like us. And so we can get some more people in and more people into the Discord chat and on also our social medias. We'd appreciate that. And another thing is also, Mike, we still have a link for the shirts.
Yep, it's in the show notes every week. Yep.
All right.
Represent.com. Show notes get posted the same time the podcast goes up over at Gamers in Beta. You can check that out. If you need to know the link right now, Jay, just bullshit for 1 second while the link comes up. And
it's in our notes. I think we've got it. So.
Yep. So the link there would be represent.com/store/Gamers in Beta.
So if you're interested, I believe, is it the bird one right now?
Nope, it's got the OG.
The OG, okay. So
it's got the OG and it's got the bird that the eagle with the 2 controllers that Joe State came up with.
So there we go. We have that. And like I said, thank you to all our Discord people. We appreciate the news and information that you share with us and what we share with you. And also maybe like your favorite pizzas, which got 3 people into our game tonight to possibly win. So thank you for doing that. And pineapple should always be on pizza.
Oh, God.
That is a note to ourselves there. Anytime we're struggling for a question of the week, we can just throw it to pizza or food in general. We got almost more responses about the pizza than we did about the question of what you listen to.
Oh, that's easy, though. You just kind of put out what you like for pizza, and, it's an answer, so.
Yeah, and your answer shouldn't count, so I'm just putting it out there.
Fucking
Hey.
pineapple.
Some people had some really interesting answers, like, I don't think I've ever had like a barbecue pizza or pizza that you roll up and put like boneless chicken in.
Whoa. You've never.
That's good.
You've never had a barbecue chicken pizza?
I think I maybe have had a few. I think maybe at work they brought like Bertucci's in or something and had something like that. But I've never gone out and ordered one myself.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So
anybody
good.
ever had Big Mac pizza?
I've had a cheeseburger pizza which had like pickles and mustard on it. Oh,
yeah, same thing.
So
They
good.
they are fucking delicious. If you ever have an opportunity to try one, give it a try. It sounds ridiculous because you're like, why are they putting lettuce on a pizza? It's fantastic.
I was completely sober. I was not stoned or drunk in any way, and it was still really good.
All right, who hasn't gone yet? Jay? You just went through. Corey, you went through. Sean, just my turn then, right?
Yes,
is that
sir.
We're out here.
Yep.
All right. So all the listeners, of course, everybody, I wanted to thank you guys in the beginning, but I guess I had a total brain cramp, so I'm saving it here for at the end. I wanted to do it in the beginning because sometimes when we get to the end here, we're out of steam, and I wanted to give you our full attention in the beginning of the show, and I failed you. I've let you down, so I apologize. So I'm going to thank you now for listening and driving the numbers up, and we appreciate that. Of course, everybody in Discord, that keeps us going throughout the week. Shout out to Holy Goalie for winning the contest. Remember, listen to win. So hopefully you still listen to the show, Dave, and you can claim your prize.
I hear our show goes well with a glass of wine. Just saying.
Yes,
expensive.
wine.
Yep, expensive box wine.
Yeah. And I'm throwing it out there. I just had this idea. I'd like to do another GIB meetup at some point. I'm thinking, I was looking today online at the Harpoon Brewery in Boston. You ever been there, Corey?
No, but I'm totally in for this idea, though.
Yep, me too.
I'm thinking of I can't wait to the Christmas time to have another meetup. So maybe we need to organize something like that at some point. But other than that,
summer meetup.
Yep. The tickets for the Boston Festival of Indie Games have just gone on sale.
Oh, yeah,
Anybody under 12 gets in free. But otherwise, I believe tickets are $15, somewhere between the $10 and $15 range. And it is Saturday, September 23rd in Boston over at the MIT campus.
Yeah, really cool. If you ever go to PAX or any game convention and you're into the indie game scene, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, they have some good games in there. They really have. Mushroom 11 was one of the ones that we found there, and
Perception.
And we found some, Perception. We found there that they have some good games in there.
Otherwise, gentlemen, this has been episode 194 of the Gamers in Beta podcast. We are counting down. We have 6 more to go now till 200. So sometime in May we'll be hitting that. And otherwise, Jay, do us the honors.
Until next time, same beta time, same beta channel, T-6. See ya.
Navigator set fire to the
Holy fuck knockers. Could we do a game maybe someday that I might actually know something on?